So again, the old model was they make 10% on the price of oil, which is 25 cents, and renewables cost them 12 cents. So they have more room for profit. So they're totally on our side on every level. And now they feel good because we're the good guys. We're fixing this, you know. Is there a video somewhere? Oh yeah, it's ready. Why don't we do it? Yeah. Just get it out of the way, okay?
Tetris?
Tetris.
Tetris. Tetris. Tetris. It's the perfect game.
That's supposed to be me.
It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. I played for 5 minutes. I still see falling blocks in my dreams. It's poetry, art, and math all working in magical synchronicity. It's the perfect game. Tetris?
Tetris.
Tetris. Tetris.
Tetris. I don't get it.
It's a combination of tetra, Greek for four, and tennis.
Tennis.
The Russian inventor, he likes tennis.
This game isn't just addictive, it stays with you. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Hank, only 10 other people in the world have seen what you're about to see. It's called the Game Boy.
Package it with Tetris.
Can you get us the rights?
The Soviet Union had worldwide rights. Nothing gets out easily. I'm gonna go to Moscow.
You're walking into a country that still considers America enemy numero uno.
Okie dokie.
You sure you don't have to talk to your wife about this first?
Pioneers have to bet the house to win.
But not literally.
Listen. Have you ever heard our apartment this quiet before?
This is the inventor of Tetris.
Your game is brilliant. I'm gonna make you a millionaire.
Mr. Rogers, have you ever negotiated with the Soviets?
We're here for Tetris.
Вы все здесь только ради денег.
What do you say? I don't speak Russian.
The most powerful man in Communist Party is watching you and your family.
Do you know where your husband is?
What the hell is going on?
The world is changing, and Soviet Union will not be left behind.
You want to play with the big boys? This is how the world works.
Where is my money?
This is insane.
We can't protect you.
Sometimes you gotta forget the rules.
Go, 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 go!
This is criminal. The Soviet Union is about to implode. They're lying. Everybody's lying.
Go home! The cavalry is coming.
We don't have time.
I have a plan.
Oh, come on. You guys are the kings of cliffhangers.
Not too bad.
Yeah, so this saves me the trouble of telling you about my whole game career. Yes, my background is computer games, and you know, my claim to fame is I wrote the first role-playing game in Japan, but everybody knows me because of this silly game. How many of you played Tetris out there? I apologize. I apologize, but Tetris did, you know, a good thing for me. It made me, it put me in a position where I don't have to work anymore. I sold a company once upon a time, and this company was a company that made games for mobile phones. It was at the beginning of the mobile phone boom in the US, and I figured it out. Company that offered me at the beginning of it $25,000 for a license to Tetris, ended up paying me over $100 million to buy my company 3 years later. So I worked it out. So anyway, I just sold my company, and some of you may know this story already. A month after I sold my company, I found myself in the back of an ambulance with 100% blockage of the widowmaker. That is a heart attack, and 95% of the people who have 100% blockage of the widowmaker die. So I'm 5%, and in that ambulance, I said, first of all, I said, you gotta be kidding me. I haven't spent any of the money yet. But the second thing I said, no, I'm not going. I still have stuff to do. And in the recovery room, I searched for what is stuff. And I looked at the end of my the end of my life, sort of like writing my epitaph, whatever. And I said, what is it that's going to piss me off if I didn't do something about it by the end of my life? And I have 4 children, so I decided I'm going to have 4 missions. But the first one came to me still in the recovery room. It's in the back of the newspaper. It said, oh, by the way, we are going to kill all the coral in the world by the end of the century. All the coral in the world. Now, I moved to Hawaii when I was 18 the first time. Moved from the city, from New York, and we lived on the beach in Hawaii for a year. So I was surfing and diving, and of course, you're an 18-year-old surfing and diving, you're going to fall in love with the ocean. And everything that all my interaction with the ocean had to do with coral. Surfing has to do with coral. Snorkeling and spearfishing and all that kind of stuff has to do with coral. And they're talking about taking away all the coral in the world, everywhere. And so I said, no, we're not. We can't do that. What's causing that? It's ocean acidification. What's causing that? It's carbon dioxide being absorbed into the ocean. What's causing that? We are. And so I said, no, this is not going to happen. So my mission number 1 is to end the use of carbon-based fuel. And to that end, I started I had a little bit of money. I started a foundation in Hawaii, the Blue Planet Foundation, and I said, first of all, I'm going to do this in Hawaii. I'm going to fix Hawaii. And Hawaii at the time spent $5 billion a year on oil and $1 billion on coal. So, and the utility was the biggest company in Hawaii with the most money and the most lobbyists. And that was they were on the other side. And they said, no, we can't, we're not changing. This is how we make electricity. And they have a monopoly, and they control the politicians, and they control the PUC, the Public Utilities Commission. So we had our job cut out for us. We talked to the politician, of course. They said, what are you talking about? Our experts at the utility say it can't be done. So that wasn't the way forward. And even talking to the adults in the room, it's like, we kind of like it the way things are. Why should we change? Why you want to, upset the apple cart? So we decided that the way to reach the adults is through the children. We had children go door to door, and when I say children, I'm talking about elementary school children, go door to door and exchange 300,000 light bulbs. In so doing, they explained about energy efficiency and climate change, and that's the conversation that the adults needed to hear from a child. When a push came to shove, we had the children of Hawaii draw pictures. I want 100% renewable energy by 2040. And we made a book out of it, $24.95, because a politician can't get a gift more than $25. So they each got a book, $24.95. And the book is a hardcover, so they can't throw it out. It was a little bit bigger than all their other books, so it would stick out on their shelf, so everybody could see that they had this book. Well, long story short, 2015, we were the first state in the country to pass a mandate that Hawaii has to go 100% renewable by 2045. We wanted 2040, they were ready to give us 2050, and we settled for 2045. Since then, we've changed the business model of the utility, so they make more money by switching to renewables. Guess where we are now? We have already reached our 2030 goal of 40% renewable energy. We are way ahead of schedule. And when you listen to the utility talk today, they sound just like us. So actually, you don't have to say it anymore, because what we have done is change the conversation. In Hawaii, the conversation went from, it's impossible, no, we can't do this, blah, 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 to, of course we're doing this. I was on a panel once, and I said, we're going to go 100% renewable energy by 2045. And the guy next to me says, I'm an expert in this. This is what I study at the university. There's no way we can go 100% by 2045. So I said, well, I'm not as smart as this guy, so I'm going to do it anyway. And this is kind of where we need to be. When we ask the experts or the engineers or whatever, and they say it can't be done, that is not the answer. That is not the answer. The answer is, it will be done. It will be done. And if we have to find somebody younger than you that can actually figure it out, we will. NASA went to the moon with all engineers in their 20s because the older guys said it couldn't be done. So if people tell you can't be done, okay, move on. We don't need to listen to these people. So anyway, Hawaii is kind of sort of on track. I would say kind of sort of. Yes, Hawaii is on track. The next thing that we're working on in Hawaii is ground transportation. We want to get rid of all internal combustion engine cars. We want to increase geothermal because that's the most reasonable, the most sane source of base load, which is 24/7 electricity that we can find on the planet without any repercussions. And we want hydrogen. We want Hawaii to be a hydrogen hub because you can take that geothermal and turn it into hydrogen and move it around. You can use it to move trucks and buses. So, but 12 other states have copied our legislation, which is great, including California, Illinois, and New York, which is fine. But even if we're completely successful in this country, that's only we're only 4.3% of the people of the world. We, if we go 100% renewable, are not going to make the change that we need to see in the world. So I started a new foundation, a new organization in New York, and that foundation is just a terrible. I made such a mistake calling it a foundation because everybody thinks I'm giving away money, and I'm just barely able to support it with the money that I put into it. We need to do it the other way. It should be the backwards, whatever, Give Us Money Foundation. But anyway, the Alliance, the Blue Planet Alliance is our new foray. And what we're doing is we're trying to do what we did in the States, meaning starting with the islands, going on to the States. We were doing that with the rest of the countries of the world, starting with island countries. And so next, actually in 2 weeks, we have 8 island countries, not all countries, islands. Palau, Tonga, Tuvalu, Micronesia, Samoa, Guam, Northern Marianas, and the Cayman Islands. It's the first time outside the Pacific. Each of those islands or island countries are sending us 3 people. One from the government, one from the utility, and one from the community. And so what we do is we show them, we're going to show them what we did in Hawaii. We're going to introduce them to the governor, who was the governor at the time, the guys who was in charge of the utility, all the renewable energy companies. By the way, the utility didn't spend any money. All they did was put out an RFP, and people came in and said, we'll sell you renewable energy. They paid 25 cents per kilowatt for oil. Wind and solar come in at 8 cents. If you add batteries, it's up to 12 cents. That's half the cost. Their old business model was 10% on the price of oil. That's 2.5 cents. Okay, you can make 3 cents. So now their shareholders are on our side. Everybody. And that's what we need to do in the rest of the world. We need to get everybody on our side. Starting with islands, because they have the same, how can I say, the same situation of importing super expensive fossil fuel for electricity. Most of them do diesel. That's even more expensive than crude oil. And we are doing this for the island countries, and then we're moving on to countries. So that's kind of where we are. I'm going to leave a little room for questions, but there's one thing that I want to make sure that everybody understands here, and that's that we're doing this. This is not a thing where maybe we're going to do it or we'd be wishy-washy. People ask me if I have hope. I say, no, I don't have hope. I have determination, and we have to have determination. Everybody in this room, everybody in this whole field needs to have determination. It's the only way we're going to get there. This is not, the hope kind of means somebody's going to throw you a life raft, or nobody's going to come and help us. We have to do this. We have to do this. It's really up to us. I got a minute for questions. I love the movie, by the way, so that's I get that question out of the way. There's a lot of Hollywood BS in the movie, but it's a good movie. It's a movie. It's not a biopic or a documentary or something like that. You could not know anything about me or about Tetris and watch it as a movie. So you have a question?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much for all your work. It's awesome. When you were can you talk a little bit more about the changing of the economics of the fossil fuel, like power companies, and changing over to the renewables, like what you meant by that? Was it like tax credits? Because you mentioned in the talk, like, yeah, we changed the conversation,
Yes.
you know, and we were able to change sort of the economics.
The conversation was, no, we can't, to yes, we can. That's the change of the conversation.
Yes.
Or yes, we are. It's not even yes, we can. It's they're doing it.
Right.
You
But
know?
did
And so-
you also do something where it became more profitable for these
Yes.
companies to convert into renewables?
Yes,
This is what
that's what
I
I
want you to talk more about.
I did mention that. So,
Okay.
so again, the old model was they make 10% on the price of oil, which is 25 cents, and renewables cost them 12 cents. So they have more room for profit. So they're totally on our side on every level. And now they feel good because we're the good guys. We're fixing this, you know. And the interesting thing is, I hear this, and I hear this a lot in a lot of places, is, well, it's easy to go 80%, but that last 20%, or it's easy to go 90%, but that last 10% is a problem. And the answer is Iceland. They didn't go 100%, they went like 300%. And their problem is not that they don't have enough electricity, it's what do we do with all that cheap electricity? All kinds of new industries ended up in Iceland. So I want every island to make 120, 130, 140% of what they need in solar. Solar isn't that expensive anymore. And then take the extra energy and use that energy to make hydrogen. And then hydrogen is something you can use as transportation fuel for trucks and buses, because batteries are too heavy for trucks and buses. Hydrogen, you can fuel a truck and bus in a couple of minutes, just like if it was gasoline. And you can make it yourself. You don't have to buy it from someplace else. You can make it with excess energy on your island or, you know, wherever you are. Any other questions? Yeah, I know.
Quick question. Did you ever look at the Philippines with their 1,700 islands?
Yes, I mean, they have developed geothermal on some of their islands. I don't know exactly what the situation is, but we like to work on small islands first, so that because they're easy to work with, you can get to the people in power much quicker. And my understanding is the Philippines, there's a lot of, what can I say, extra political whatever. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like
lots of their fights are about energy.
Sorry?
Lots of their fights are about energy.
I'm sure they are, but I mean, you know, there's a lot of people, entrenched rich people in the Philippines that are not going to give up their profit, source anytime soon. So, I think I'm out of time. Okay, thank you very much.